Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Larry Bodenheimer, and today we're going to be taking a look at Tinba. Tinba is a 32-bit Trojan for Windows operating systems. If we come over here and take a look at VirusTotal, we can see that it was first submitted 2 weeks ago and some change. And if we take a look at last submission, it was submitted 11 minutes ago by yours truly. Creation time says 2014. This is always falsified, that's why we always ignore it. However, this has been detected by just about everybody, so that's an extremely large L for the malware writer, but I did just want to point that out. Surprisingly, only a community score of -13. Your tags for this video are portable executable, overlay, detects debug environment, checks user input, malware, and persistence. The popular threat label is Trojan.Tinba/Juicy. Threat categories are Trojan and Downloader, and family labels are Tinba, Juicy, and Backdoor X. We take a look down here. I'm not even going to take a look at all of the ones that are detecting it. I'll go ahead and let you know now. All of the major AV companies detect this. Even Webroot has a signature for it, which is surprising to me. But if you want to take a look at all of this on your own, the MD5 and all that will be in the comment section down below as well. The 6 companies that have no detection for this are Baidu, CMC, Harong, Trend Micro House Call, and ViRobot. If we take a look at details, here's your MD5, SHA-1, and SHA-256, again, in the comments. And if we go to relations, we can see there's 3 contacted URLs. They're all HTTP port 80, all unencrypted traffic to randomized names.pw / this other random name, which is probably a directory for probably like an Apache server. We have 6 contacted domains. One of them is Microsoft with a malicious detection. One is Microsoft with no malicious detection, and one is Bing. And then the other contacted domains are, of course, these URLs up here. Taking a look at IP addresses, we have 29 contacted IPs. And we do have a few detections. We have 1 out of the US with 5, 1 out of the Netherlands with 4, 1 out of the US with 10, and 1 out of Singapore with 6. 3 dropped files, and they both seem to be .bins. They have the same detections too, so it may be the exact same file. And again, I don't spend much time on behavior on this channel, but if you want to take a look for yourself, now's your chance to do so. We do have 2 sandbox detections. Zenbox flags it as malware, banker, and evader, and C2AE flags it as stealer. We also have 2 medium crowdsourced Sigma rules, as well as 2 high and 3 low crowdsourced IDS rules. Last but not least, if we go to community, we could see Cur88, Jaffa Cakes 118, Nike Analytics, Joe Security have all been here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the details for this file, and looking at it, from the front, seeing the icon and the name, looks pretty legitimate to me. If we take a look at the properties, the details look extremely legitimate to me too. Java TM platform SE binary is exactly what it would look like for the details of the actual Java executable. Java TM platform SE6U31, product version and file version look good. Copyright looks okay. And original file name java.exe. This would probably fool me. The only thing that I would look at this and immediately go like, something's missing, is there's no digital signature. But even then, I probably wouldn't really be looking for that unless somebody just pointed it out. So you get points for this. This is extremely believable. Last but not least, let's take a look at the tools we'll be using to analyze this malware. We have System Informer, Process Monitor, Wireshark, which I'll go ahead and resume now, and Zooey. Now that we've taken a look at all that, let's go ahead and open System Informer, and without any further ado, let's run the malware. Do you want to allow this app from an unknown publisher to make changes to your device? Sure, why not? We click yes, we can immediately see a command prompt opens up, and java.exe runs and executes winver.exe. However, the Java file, or the Java executable, immediately ends, and we could see a couple of service hosts opening some war faults, but this winver is running constantly. It's not using very much of the CPU, but the fact it's using any memory and CPU at all means it's actually executing stuff. So now we'll go ahead and take a look at what that Java executable actually did. So we're going to go ahead and do two filters. We're going to go to process name is, oops, don't know why I clicked that. We're going to go to process name is java.exe, and we're going to go to operation is create file, and we'll go ahead and apply that filter. We can see that there's 59 events. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this over here. We're going to resize this to just about where we can see if any new suspicious programs open. And also resizing this window so I can expand the pathway so we can see everything. If we take a look over here, it's just a bunch of DLLs. We do have a prefetch. We can see if it was deleted or not. It does look like this prefetch file is actually here. But it has access console host, which we saw immediately. And if we keep looking, it does drop WinVer and execute it. It drops it in the desktop directory and then immediately deletes it, and also drops it in the syswell64 directory. So that's going to be it for the main executable. Now we'll go ahead and try the winver.exe. We'll go ahead and add that. Shouldn't take too long. And it's only done 56 events, but should we leave this to capture more information while it's still running, I'm sure we're going to get more in the future. Right now, we still see that it's calling a bunch of DLLs, not doing anything too suspicious. It did access the local low and the roaming directory, and as you can see over here, it calls the original program, java.exe, and then if you remember from VirusTotal with the bin.exe, it's dropping this as well. And that was something that had some detections, so we'll go ahead and jump to that. I gotta remember, I don't want process monitor running too long, it might poop itself. It does seem to be the exact same program, judging by the icon. Yeah, original file name is java.exe. We'll upload it to VirusTotal here in a second, because I want to be thorough. But if we keep looking, it's just calling more DLLs, and that seems to be it. So we'll go ahead and clear it and let it run again. We can't let it stack too many events or it'll run out of memory, so that's why I'm doing that, in case anybody's wondering. And we'll take a look at Wireshark, and as we can see, we have a lot of TCP retransmissions. So at first, when I ran this in testing, I thought that it actually was detecting I had some AV and AEM tools open, or on the system, and just killed its own process, until I saw that the WinVer was running full-time, and I saw a bunch of TCP retransmissions. So that does mean it executed correctly. We'll go ahead and stop this and upload it as 1.pcap to Zooey, and we'll start a new packet capture. No, we might actually want to select the right thing. And then I'm going to open another Wireshark window and open the 1.pcap in there as well. So we'll bring this over here. We'll go to File, Open, and 1.pcap. And let's take a look through here. So immediately from the start, we have a bunch of these retransmissions. This 216.218 is calling out to me. Now, this 3.4 is a Google Cloud. It, again, doesn't necessarily mean that it's innocent, because a lot of C2 servers can be hosted off of Google Cloud, as the same with Microsoft's cloud service and Amazon's. But this 216.218 is sending the vast majority of the information. And as you can see, everything that we're seeing with it, or almost everything, is a TCP retransmission. There are some push acknowledgements and things of that nature, but most of the stuff is calling out to me immediately. We can also see that there are multiple Google Cloud IP connections. So there's a 34120 and then a 34160. There's also a 3454, so that may be something to keep in mind as well. Although VirusTotal said that there weren't any connections to any Google services, and it's already been uploaded for 16 days, doesn't necessarily mean anything. But yeah, definitely the one I want to take a look at first is the 216.218. We'll take a look at Process Monitor, and we don't have any new events yet for this winver.exe, but I will still let it keep running. So we'll look for the 216.218, and yes, immediately right here, this is the one out of the US with 10 detections. If we open this in VirusTotal, We can see it's claimed by Alpha Mountain, Anti-AVL, Bitdefender, Cyradar, Forcepoint Threat Seeker, Fortinet, Gdata, Lionic, Malware URL, and Webroot. One I'm not seeing is Sock Radar. I just want to make sure it's down here as clean. Where is Sock Radar? Sock Radar, Sock Radar, Sock Radar. Where the heck is Sock Radar? Hello? Oh, it's unrated by Sock Radar. And now, for some reason, the vast majority of the times I reanalyze an IP address in VirusTotal, it never actually does do the reanalysis, just shows old results. But we'll try it. We can also see that the packet has, or the packet capture has finished being filtered out by Zooey. So we'll go ahead and open and query the pool really quick and see if there's anything to be detected. 93 total rows, and immediately we've got an alert 1 here. ET malware, PT security, Tinba check-in 4. Category malware command and control activity detected. And this might be the same. Check-in 2. Okay. Alert 3, ET info, HTTP request to a .pw domain, miscellaneous activity, action allowed. These are all going to be allowed, by the way. I have none of this set to deny. Alert 2, ET DNS query, likely hostile, potentially bad traffic. And then the same thing here. But that's probably for a different one of the PW domains, because if you remember, there were 3 that it was being connected to, or at least 3 subdomains. That's all out of that one, but immediately everything is pointing to still actually capturing information. And we have a lot on this new packet capture. I think we only had around 500 some packets on the last one. So we'll go ahead and stop this, save it as 2.pcapng. We can go ahead and close this one because we're done with it. And we will open this to import more data from 2.pcap. We still don't have any new information from Winver, so maybe it's already done everything that it's going to do. But the fact that it's running full-time and isn't sending any new information makes me think that this does actually have persistence. We're also going to do something new. I don't think that we're going to get anything from that bin.exe because we never saw it run. But I am going to go ahead and try. So let's go to winver.exe, delete all of that. For some reason, control backspace doesn't work. Yes, add that item. And then what's another one that we want to take a look at in VirusTotal? So yeah, as you can see, it never actually reanalyzed. It said that it was going to, and then it just stopped. And this one is out of the US, so I tell you what, we're also going to look for the other 3. There's no guarantee that it's going to connect to all of these IP addresses every single time, but I will check through Wireshark to see if it did this time. And then we're also going to look these up on Abuse IPDB and Whois. And as you can see, bin.exe never did anything. Okay, I'm going to let Wireshark keep running, but we're probably not going to make a third packet capture. Let's go ahead and look at this second one really quick and see if it tells us any new information. 318 events. Suricata stream. Okay, we could ignore that. Anything with Suricata streams or expected information can be ignored. HTTP. This is the Microsoft Tile Service weather app thing. Suricata. Probably Suricata, yep. We got a bunch here, but they're all probably also Suricata. They are. Any alert 1s or alert 2s is what I'll jump on. But I feel like we're not going to see any more of those now. We do have a notice. Too little traffic. Okay, that's fine. And just to check this last one, be thorough, it's also Suricata. So we can go ahead and close Zooey. We're done with it. And I will go ahead and pause the packet capture for that, or the process capture, just so it doesn't run out of memory. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to open... let's open a new Wireshark window. I think I closed the 1.pcap, and we're going to open 2.pcap, because it had a lot more information. So we're also going to try IP ADDR equals 104, if I can type right, 104.131.68.180. The system did not make any connections to that IP address. 178.62.201.34. none there. And then this, obviously it was connecting to this one. So 4577-24979. Oh, it might help if I put the actual IP address part. And no packets sent on that. So the only one that's malicious, huge air quotes, that we connected to is the 216.218. So now I'm going to go ahead and open abuse IPDB and who is. Now we're going to put all 4 of these IP addresses in abuse IPDB. We might not put any of them in who is. It just depends on how much information we get. So we'll go ahead and copy that. We'll shove it in here. We'll do a check. And this 104 was found in the database. It was reported twice, but the last report was 6 months ago. Port sweep, 5 failures on 10 minutes, so a port scan, and then an unauthorized connection attempt, and they flagged it as brute force. 2 different people, so you know. 216.218. Now this one's either going to have a bunch of reports or none, because that's always how it works when they have a bunch of reports on VirusTotal. And as you can see, okay, it was reported 7 times. It just make me look like an idiot then. Hurricane Electric LLC is the internet service provider. Don't go harassing anybody. And it looks like all of these are on completely different reporters, but the last report was over a year ago. Unfounded abuse to Spam House, command and control for a completely random subdomain or domain.com. Detected hacking. Oh my god, hacking watchdogs. If you could be a little more specific than that. SQL injection on general web app attack. Okay. IP was found connected to a server we manage, ran through app.any.run, and was found malicious with C2 services active. Ow. Okay. Ran by us. Cool. Recently received a... I'm not reading all that. Hurricane Electric. Yeah, I don't care. Initiator of ran by a spam. Okay. Fair enough. We'll take a look at the last 2, and then I think at this point the last thing to do is restart the computer and see if it does have persistence. This has 3 reports out of Singapore. Last one was 6 months ago. Aggressive port scan detected, unauthorized connection attempt. Okay, and then the last one. Oop, get out of here. Was that the last one? Maybe we didn't look at this one. Hang on. Yeah, this one was only reported once 6 months ago, unauthorized connection attempt. Alright, so that is going to be about it. The last thing we can really do at this point is just restart the computer and see if it actually does have any persistence. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and close all of this junk. We're going to restart the computer. I am going to go to System Informer as quick as possible to see if bin.exe immediately opens and closes like java.exe did. And whether it does or not, we'll see if WinVer or any other application is still running to see if it has persistence. Unfortunately, with this malware, like the vast majority of the other ones we've reviewed lately, I believe that this is actually going to be a persistent rat, which sucks, but it is what it is. We don't see anything running immediately, but remember, most of... Oh, yeah, it immediately bin.exe opens, and it opens winver.exe in its own program, which is up here under services now. It was under Explorer, but now it's under services. So, unfortunately, this... Shut up, phone. Unfortunately, this is a persistent rat, but, you know, not really much you can do about it. You can run some AV software and get rid of it, but the damage is already done. They've got your information. So at this point, you change your passwords and all of that good stuff, and try to be more careful about what you download on the internet. But that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys did enjoy, please make sure to leave a comment letting me know what you thought was interesting about this one, and let me know if there's anything I didn't do that you want to see in future videos, as well as if there's something I did do that you feel is redundant or pointless. And also, if you're new to the channel, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. My name is Larry Bodenheimer. You guys have been amazing, and I will see you in the next one.